So in this short video, I'm going to show you how you can remove rust, clean, and sharpen any garden implement. So this is my favorite shovel. Unfortunately, I left it out over the winter, and we had a pretty harsh winter, and you can see it did a number on not only the wood, but also the rust on the front. So with a bucket and some vinegar and a little elbow grease, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up and show you how you can use this technique. We're going to fill up this bucket about 3/4 of the way with water, and then we're going to use some 30% vinegar. So this is about 6 times more powerful than the vinegar you have in your cabinets. Be very careful with it. It can burn your hands and hurt your eyes. I'm going to pour in about half of the contents into my 3/4 filled bucket. That should be enough concentration in the solution to do some damage to that rust and help me clean up my shovel. So I'll dip it in. What I like to do is put it in, give it about an hour to break up some of the surface rust, and it'll go ahead and do that. You can check on your bucket, and once you start to see the rust-colored water, you know it's time that you can pick it up and do some initial scrubbing. So take a wire brush. I like to use a brass brush like this one. We have these available on our website, but it doesn't scratch the steel as much and prevents even more pitting and rust just by keeping that surface kind of level. So I'll remove some of that surface rust. The reason I'm doing this, I'm going to let the shovel sit overnight, and I want to make its job a little bit easier by breaking up some of that more cluttered or high rust area within there. So I'll scrub and kind of give it some clean surfaces. You see already it's starting to do a pretty good job with that rust removal. You're starting to see the raw steel underneath. So we'll do it with the brush, and then what I'll do, I'm going to take some scouring pads. You can use steel wool, but actually I like to use these copper pads. These won't scrape the steel as much, and they just remain intact much longer. They don't rust like steel pads. You essentially have to throw the steel away pretty quick. These will last you quite a bit. So really good for those low areas. You can see I'm getting in the kind of the pitted area on the heart of the shovel there, which is where a lot of the rust had actually been. So we'll go ahead and do that, dip it a few times, and then I'm actually going to let this, like I said, sit overnight, do a few more scrubs, and then you can see here the end result is pretty nice, and I'll show you once I fully clean it what we've got going. But in this case, I'm going to use a diamond rasp to actually give it an edge, and that edge will make it easier to do digging and use this pointed shovel for what I need to use it for. If you don't have a pointed tip on a shovel, it's not as easy to get into that turf and do digging. So I always like to put kind of a pointed tip on. So we'll go ahead and sharpen that edge. I just do the tip. I don't do the whole shovel all the way around. Anything that's going to be cutting as I plunge this into the soil, I want to have a little bit of an edge. So we'll go ahead and sharpen this up. And then my final step here is I want to take a rag and use some white mineral oil or food grade mineral oil to actually clean up the shovel and give it a nice seal. And this seal will prevent rust as I use it throughout the season. You got to reapply this obviously, but it also removes that rust layer as well and makes the tool look nice. You can see here I'll clean it, apply it to the edges and the whole body of the shovel, and we'll continue to apply it, clean it up. Make sure you do it on both sides. Flip it over, do the back. You can see some of that rusty water has dried on the shovel, and that comes off pretty easy as I apply that oil and give it a nice coat for the gardening season. And the end result, you can see, pretty nice clean shovel, most of the rust removed, and I now have a clean implement I can use for the rest of my season. If you like this video, click like and share it, and subscribe if you want to hear more. Thanks.